North 21st Street will soon look a lot different.
A spring cleanup will be taking place along a local bike trail, and an amazing toy exhibit is currently on display.
All that and more on this edition of Tacoma Report.
Hi, and welcome to this edition of Tacoma Report. I'm Angie Foster.
And I'm Laura Proctor. If it seems like the economy in Tacoma is on the upswing, financial advisors would agree. Tacoma is currently experiencing unprecedented growth. With more than $1 billion being invested in downtown Tacoma, private investment has surpassed public investment by a nearly 4-to-1 ratio.
What we do is we develop and operate highly automated cold storage facilities, like you see over here at the back, who are a center in the supply chain of our customers to store and distribute their goods. And for us, Tacoma was an important location because it was important to our customer.
Some of the reasons why investors say Tacoma is the place to be right now include access to the global marketplace, affordable real estate, an incredible lifestyle, and an experienced support team that knows what it takes to help their business grow. More information is available on makeittacoma.com.
The love and protection of our environment is another reason why the Tacoma area is booming right now. In fact, there's a call out to find people who have an idea for a project that can benefit environmental sustainability. Stacey Ellifrit has more on a small grant program seeking proposals that focus on keeping our city clean, safe, and livable.
An exciting new program was just launched in 2018 by the Environmental Services Department. The Sustainability Small Grant Program is now calling for eligible applications.
They're going to come out quarterly, and they're eligible really for any individual or community group or other nonprofit that wants to do a project in Tacoma on environmental sustainability.
These grants are given a reimbursement of up to $5,000. Strong applications will demonstrate a connection to one of the 3 utilities.
One of the main things they're going to look for is consistency with the objectives of the 3 environmental utilities, and that's solid waste, wastewater, and stormwater. So things like reducing solid waste and increasing recycling, reducing stormwater discharges and pollution, and just making sure that the right things go in the wastewater treatment system.
The grant process is also looking for projects that are consistent with the city's long-term vision for sustainability.
So projects that help to reduce the impacts or increase the resiliency to climate change. So things that reduce greenhouse gas emissions or reduce flooding or reduce stormwater discharges. Community gardening projects, rain gardens, projects that reduce waste, installing electric vehicle charging ports. Those are all things that are really helpful.
The Office of Environmental Policy and Sustainability and the Sustainable Tacoma Commission will evaluate applications, with grants awarded 4 times a year.
The grant program's new, but there was a small sustainability grant program in the years past. And as a commissioner, once the applications come in, I'll have a chance to review which ones get funded. And it's amazing the number of types of projects that come in that are really great.
For Tacoma Report, I'm Stacey Ellifrit.
For more information about this and other environmental grants, visit the Grants and Sponsorship webpage or contact the City Office of Environmental Policy and Sustainability. Construction is ramping up around the city after 6 grants were recently received, totaling over $21 million. These state and federal grants were awarded to the city's Public Works Department, where funds will be used for various projects including roadways, bridges, trails, and bikeways. Some projects are underway and others will extend out and be completed in 2021. To find out more about the construction projects happening around the city, visit the Capital Projects page.
Back again in 2018 is your chance to test your knowledge of state and city trivia. The History Happy Hour Trivia Night is being held on Wednesday, March 21st at 6 p.m. Come by the Swiss Restaurant and Pub to show your knowledge and have a chance to win prizes. As usual, this event is free and open to the public. Visit the Historic Preservation Events page for more information. The landlord-tenant program is an important topic in the Tacoma area.
When we come back from the break, we'll find out what the city is doing to make sure that no one is discriminated against. Stay with us. On set with me now is Chiquetta Elder from the Office of Equity and Human Rights to talk about the Landlord-Tenant Program. Welcome, Chiquetta, to the show today.
Thank you.
We're glad that you're here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, awesome. Could you tell us what is the City of Tacoma Landlord-Tenant Program all about?
The City of Tacoma's Landlord-Tenant Program is a program designed to equip both landlords and tenants with understanding their rights under the Washington State Residential Landlord-Tenant Act, which is RCW 5918. The program is available to any landlord or tenant who has property that's inside the Tacoma city limits.
Okay. And why do you feel the City of Tacoma Landlord-Tenant Program is important?
I think the significance and the importance of the Landlord-Tenant Program is because the Washington State Residential Landlord-Tenant Act does not have an enforcement arm. There's only civil remedies. So our program equips people to know their rights under the law and also gives them the tools to be able to exercise their rights under the law. So, for example, we're the only city in the state of Washington that has a landlord-tenant program. There's no other city that has a program such as ours. So we're able to help the residents of Tacoma understand their rights and responsibilities under the Landlord-Tenant Act.
So with no enforcement, how are tenants protected?
Under the landlord-tenant law, there isn't a lot of protections. However, the City of Tacoma does have a couple of ways where tenants are protected. One of them is the fact that we want to make sure that everybody lives in habitable units. So under the Landlord-Tenant Act, it gives the tenant the opportunity to request for a code enforcement inspection. So through the Landlord-Tenant Program, we're able to set that up to where a tenant who follows all of the steps under the Landlord-Tenant Act is able to have a code enforcement inspection to make sure that their unit is livable. But the city also has protections under the fair housing laws, which would protect a person from discrimination, based on their race, color, religion, national origin, mental or physical disability, familial status, which means you have children under the age of 18 in the home. So the city does have that protection. So if someone is being discriminated against in their housing transaction, the city could assist them in filing a discrimination claim, and there would be an investigation, and we would decide whether the act of discrimination happened. So those are the two ways that the city can help protect the residents of Tacoma. Other than that, all we can do is help equip them to be able to exercise their rights on their own.
Yeah, giving them tools and referrals and information is so valuable.
We do a lot of referrals because
great.
We feel that people have the right to have healthy homes and to be able to enjoy their homes while living in Tacoma. And with the way the Landlord-Tenant Act is written, there's not an enforcement arm to it. So we just want to make sure that everybody's equipped with knowing their rights under the law.
Wow. And can you walk us through how would a tenant file a complaint, or an owner? How would they file a complaint?
So if they have a landlord-tenant question, they would go through our 311. So if you're inside the Tacoma city limits, you can just pick up any phone and dial 311, and that will get you to an intake specialist. And then they would take the intake over the phone, and it would come directly to me, and I would respond to those within 48 hours, usually right Johnny on the spot. I usually am. Or if you're outside the city limits of Tacoma, but the property is inside, you can dial 253-591-5000, and that will get you to the 311 customer support center, and they will do the same thing. Or a person can go online and file it in the 311 system.
Okay.
If you have a fair housing complaint, you can also dial 311, and they will transfer you to the Office of Equity and Human Rights.
Okay. Well, thank you, Chiquetta, for being with us today, and thank you for everything that you and your department does for our community. And we hope that you can come back and give us some updates really soon.
I will. Thank you.
My pleasure. When we come back from the break, we'll find out about a major project getting ready to take place in North Tacoma. Stay with us.
A big makeover of the skyline along Tacoma's North 21st Street is about to take place. Tacoma Power is preparing to remove 19 rusty power transmission towers and poles installed 93 years ago, even before the street was completed. Removal will start next month. The towers are part of the infrastructure that connects the Cushman Hydroelectric Project with our power system. Tacoma Power plans to replace them with sleek new transmission poles that will be much more visually appealing.
But what they will see is that the new structures will be in the middle of the blocks, and they'll be every other block instead of every block. So that'll be the big change, and they also won't be as big visually. They'll be taller, but they won't be as wide. They'll be generally 6 to 7 feet wide.
There will be some traffic disruptions between morning and evening commuting hours. The work will last from April through September. TPU's website has more information about the project. Biking along busy streets like North 21st can sometimes be a little nerve-wracking with the heavy traffic.
But bicyclists have a favorite bike path slicing through the heart of Tacoma, the Scott Pearson Trail. This 5-mile trail runs the length of Highway 16 from South 25th Street in Tacoma, ending at Gig Harbor. Each year, supporters of the trail plan a series of spring, summer, and fall cleanups. Organizers say the need is great for volunteers helping with litter and maintenance work. If interested, sign up on any of this year's Scott Pearson Trail cleanup dates by registering online at sptc2018.eventbrite.com. This spring and summer, explore vegetable gardening basics as part of Harvest Pierce County's Edible Garden Workshops. Classes are held March through July, usually on the third Saturday of the month from 10 a.m. to noon at Metro Park, Tacoma. Come learn about garden soil, tips on caring for your fruit trees, and what grows well in the Pacific Northwest. Classes are taught by educators from a number of local organizations. To register for these free workshops, visit the Edible Gardens page on the Pierce County site. There's a major exhibit taking place at the Washington State History Museum, which will bring out the kid in all of us. Toytopia will be here through June 10th and will help you reconnect with your favorite childhood toy. Maria Lee has this story.
G.I. Joe, G.I. Joe, fighting man from head to toe.
This exhibition is incredible and presents toys of all sizes.
Well, we're looking for that moment of recognition when you walk through and you see the toy of your childhood that really made a difference or made an impact, or that you remember the most, or you have a fond feeling about. That connectivity to nostalgia and the past is something that really brings out the inner child in everyone, no matter how old they are.
Behind the scenes, a lot has gone into this exhibition.
But Zoltar is here to tell you you can believe it.
Toytopia is magical. When we went through the list, it's really easy to find yourself looking at all the different toys and remembering which ones you owned or the ones you wanted to own when you were a kid. And so that inspired us to open 2 other exhibitions based on our own collections, where we got that chance to go through our stuff and pick out the things that others might remember or enjoy from Washington State. One of them is Playdates, which is a survey of historic toys from across time. The other one is what we call Playroom, which is a Victorian day nursery from the turn of the century, where you can see objects in their original context, complete with furniture, rugs, and even period paintings.
Toytopia promises to be a memorable, active experience for all. For Tacoma Report, I'm Maria Lee.
On the third Thursday of each month, the History Museum has free admission from 3 until 8 p.m. And for Historical Society members, admission is always free. More information is available on the Washington State History Museum's website.
In addition to the free options that the Washington State History Museum offers, don't forget about the Tacoma Public Library. If you have a library card and an email address, you can create a free Hoopla account to access more than 130 online courses on a variety of topics. These courses are uniquely crafted for lifelong learners and provide immersive learning experiences that can't be found in a lecture hall. Hoopla also allows access to numerous audiobooks. All the information you'll need to set up an account can be found on the library's website. There's still more to come on Tacoma Report.
After the break, we'll find out how Tacoma Public Utilities is working with local kids on career development.
Stay with us. As baby boomers retire, there's a big need to get more kids interested in careers that use science, technology, education, and math as a foundation.
Tacoma Public Utilities has teamed up with local Boys and Girls Club to inspire youngsters towards STEM-related career paths. John Phillips has the story.
So everyone's got a quiz, I hope. Does everyone have a pen? Oh, Brian, when was Tacoma Public Utilities established?
It's called the TPU Academy.
Okay, who thinks it's A, 1893? Raise your hand. Raise your hand high. Now turn around backwards and pat yourself on the back. You got it right.
The instructors are employees of the utilities power, water, and railroad divisions.
It's going to be hands-on stuff. We have all kinds of neat games and activities and experiments and things like that. So
in a few short weeks, these 4th and 5th graders will better understand TPU and the value of enduring those harder classes back at school.
It's one thing when you learn in a classroom math, science, engineering techniques, but it's entirely something different when an employee from Tacoma Public Utilities can come in and say to you, this is how I use that math in my everyday job, and look at this cool job that I get to do.
Anybody guess what this big thing in the middle is?
Gas engine.
This is our diesel fuel tank.
Among the first sessions of the TPU Academy was a visit to Tacoma Rail.
This is a V engine. That means it sits like this. You got one bank over here.
Students learned about locomotives from mechanics.
It's called a reverser.
Got to try moving a train on the simulator and even sit behind the controls of the real thing with an engineer.
It was pretty okay. I liked it. I liked blowing the horn a lot.
They were made somewhere else, probably.
China.
Maybe.
The kids discover the smartphones they own and the French fries they love may have been handled by this little freight hauling railroad. While it may be too early for them to think about becoming a highly skilled diesel mechanic or engineer, connecting and planting a few seeds for the future is what the TPU Academy is all about.
Hopefully it sparks their imagination and they can stay in school, stay focused, and do what they need to do to have the kind of career that they want.
These students will also have field trips to learn about how Tacoma gets its water and how the utility ensures it's safe to drink. They'll learn about Tacoma Power, how electric meters work, and even how important cybersecurity is to a utility.
So the future of Tacoma is in our buildings.
This pilot learning opportunity is generating a lot of excitement from the Boys and Girls Clubs.
You gotta make contact.
A lot of our programs are rooted in educational success, academic success. So STEM being a major part of that. We want to make sure we're providing STEM in a fun way, in an engaging way, and TPU is helping us do that.
That's our hope, is that we're really building long relationships with the students here at the Boys and Girls Club so they become part of our future at Tacoma Public Utilities.
For Tacoma Report, I'm John Phillips.
The TPU Academy sessions will wrap up later this month with a graduation, ice cream celebration, and a chance to meet TPU executives in person.
Did you know that the Children's Museum of Tacoma offers pay-as-you-will admission to break down cost barriers for families? And the museum is able to offer this thanks to the volunteers who give their time and talents to the museum. The museum is currently looking for volunteers to assist with a variety of work, including office administration, program assistance, special events, or museum facilitation. For more information about the volunteer program, visit their website.
The city's Historic Preservation Office has teamed up with local partners to launch a youth historical fiction competition titled Bringing Tacoma's History to Life. Geared towards high school age students, the competition offers a series of 4 prompts about essential but little known moments in Tacoma's history. Youth writers can then pick any of these prompts to develop a piece of original historical fiction. Submissions are being accepted now through March 30th. To download a resource guide with writing prompts and competition guidelines, visit the city's site.
And finally, we're getting closer to the City of Tacoma's T-Town Play, Explore, Learn City Services Expo, which takes place on March 24th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Tacoma Dome. The free public event, which also has free parking, will be a great opportunity for you to connect with your public servants and city government and share your ideas and feedback about how the city should utilize its resources. If you've been wanting an opportunity to see a fire truck or talk to a police officer about the work that they do, learn more about street design through a hands-on activity, or find out about the many other services the City of Tacoma offers, this event is for you. Last we heard, Rhubarb will also be there, so bring your family and friends. For the latest updates, check out cityoftacoma.org/play, explore, learn, or go to the city's official social media channels.
That's all the time we have on this edition of Tacoma Report.
A great way to find out about the services the City of Tacoma has to offer is by going to cityoftacoma.org. I'm Angie Foster.
And I'm Laura Proctor. We'll see you next time.